Good evening. This is 10:47, 18th January 2026. This is my trade idea for the fourth week of 2026. So the first step is to go through the news calendar for the week ahead. Okay, Monday, the US is closed on Monday, so I have to be very, very watchful of that. But then there's very important news, a lot of important news for China, GDP, employment data as well, around 3 a.m. Nigerian time. That's very nice. Let me see. Euro CPI as well. Yeah. Canadian dollar CPI, that's inflation data. I like this. Okay. Anything I want to do on Monday has to be in Asia, because the US won't be as active as usual because the Americans are on holiday. So anything I want to do on Monday has to be in Asia. Let me check Tuesday. Yeah, okay. Employment data for the British pound. Okay, I like that. Okay, that's it for me on Tuesday. Wednesday, inflation data for the pound. Nice as well. Then Trump's speech around US Open, 30 minutes after US Open. I believe that is at Davos. Thursday, employment data for the Australian dollar. I like that. Then GDP for the US. Very good. GDP. Very good. I like Thursday. New Zealand dollar CPI. Okay. I'll see what happens at the Asia Open on Friday. Okay, Friday. I like Fridays. Inflation data for the Japanese yen as well as interest rate news. The Japanese yen has been very, very active, extremely active. So that should bring in more activity. I like that. And I like Friday as well. I like active London to set up for America, the US. Okay, this is nice. I like this. Lots of activity. My idea for this week is the EURCAD. That's Euro Canadian dollar. Obviously, I've gone through the charts before now, but then for the sake of this video, I'll just go through one more time. Just in case you think you're looking at my charts to look, let's say you notice this indicator, this is the RSI, Relative Strength Index. I just like to have these indicators there just to give me an idea of, they tell me certain things that might not be obvious to the uninitiated. So I like these indicators. And I can't trade without volume. Volume tells a lot of the story. Even with Forex, where there's no central exchange, right, the volume is still very, very useful. I can't trade without volume. It's impossible to trade without volume, in my case at least. I also like the moving averages, just to give me an idea of the overall flow of the market. It doesn't mean I want to trade with the moving averages, but then I just want to have an idea of the overall flow rather. So here's the idea. This is the daily time frame. Look at the strong seller here. Very, very strong seller. So anything I want to do on this chart has to conform with whatever these guys want, and that is to keep selling this instrument. That is to keep buying the CAD and dumping the European and the euro. So let me go to a lower time frame. They've had one try to take it down, but then no lower low. So let's give them another chance to break this loop. Let's see if price can come this way. Let me go to the lower time frame. Let me play my chart a little bit. This is very straightforward, honestly. This is very straightforward. Remember, from the daily time frame, I want to sell. I want to sell from the daily time frame. So the idea is to just let me explain the idea here. Buyers, they come up, sellers are unable to push back. Buyers come up again, very strong. Sellers push back, but then you can see, we can't say these buyers are dead yet. We can't say the buyer here is dead yet because it's not obvious and clear that the buyers don't want to push it up anymore. Now we go again, but for some weird reason, we can't stay above this high. That is the first sign of weakness. That is the first sign of weakness, and that this original player that sold from this area might be back again, because the smaller buyers have more or less given up. So price held up here. This is what is called the money spot, where the buyers and the sellers are more or less fighting it out to see who the stronger party is. And the way to know who the stronger party is go on time frame higher, because the higher you go, the more money there is on the time frames. So the daily guys are richer than the 4 hour guys. The 4 hour guys are richer than the 1 hour guys. So from this money spots, the daily guys won, because the daily guys want to sell, which is why I also want to follow the idea of the bigger time frame to keep selling the EURCAD. Obviously, there's a lot more information like correlation and looking at volume as well. It might not be too obvious, but then I'm looking at a lot of information with volumes. Also, we can see divergence here. That is another tool I like to use a lot. Let me use this. This is the divergence. This is my high. Look at the high. Or with the divergence, we can see a sort of maintenance of the high. So this is what is called divergence, where the chart shows, where the candlesticks show one thing, then the RSI shows something else. There's a lot of information that we can get from this small variation in action, in price action, and the action with the indicator. So I also like this as well. But then this is not to say I always look for divergence. This is just something out there that can always use to support my analysis, but then it's not always required. So the idea is since Asia will be busy with the China news, I want to go to one time frame low and see if price will give me a kind of hold around this area for me to enter, and then hopefully the China data will be able to push price to my favored direction. Obviously, this can still go this way. Price can still go this way, up. But then if it goes up, I'm not interested anymore. I'll have to reanalyze. Let's say after that's in London or tomorrow, or Tuesday. But then the idea is for price to hold here a little bit after a share opens. Then I'll see if I can get an entry to take it down. The reason my take profit is very, very far is because I'm using the idea of the daily time frame to trade on the 1 hour time frame, which allows me to make a lot more money than most people will be able to do using just the 4 hour time frame or the 1 hour time frame. So that is just it for this week. And depending if this could end in a win or loss, but then just my knowledge and ability to read the charts correctly will contribute to being able to predict the direction of price correctly. So I'll just watch and then update you later. This is 10:03, Monday, 19 January 2026. The plan was to enter around Asia, but then due to Trump's tariff announcement on Saturday on the European nations, on 8 European nations, EU nations. Okay, here's the news here. Was something I was paying attention to, and obviously I wanted to let me check FT. Okay, this is it. Gold jumped to record high and stocks fell Monday after Donald Trump's pursuit of Greenland threatened to ignite a trade war with Europe and left transatlantic relations facing their gravest crisis in years. Gold hits record and stocks fall as Greenland crisis deepens. Okay. Let me show you how the charts reacted. When Japan opened around this area, and you can see this very, very strong movement. So after seeing that, I closed my charts immediately. I wanted this news to digest a bit before knowing the next step. So while this was going on, obviously looking at the news, obviously the US pairs were going to be active. I entered a position on New Zealand USD around this area, somewhere around here. I'll post the MT5 screenshot, and that's just the update so far. I also had another entry around this area. I'll post the MT5 screenshot as well. So, but the main idea is EURCAD. But just about around London Open, I placed my entry around this area, and I'm in already for about I can't even remember. I think 0.3. I'm even not sure of my lot size anymore, but the risk is $50. Yeah, there you should take it. Okay, let me check here. Yeah, 0.3. There's 30,000 units. The idea is to take it down to this area, so I'll update you as this moves on. Good morning. This is today is 20th January 2026. This is 7:57 a.m. Now you can see the news calendar for today, Tuesday. The British pound employment data is about to come out 3 minutes from now, so I expect some activity. I even have a trade on that. Let me show you. Okay, this is it. This is my entry. I'll add the MT5 screenshots for posting this recording. Let me show you the progress of the 2 other trades I'm also watching. Okay, this is I've moved my stops in a bit with the New Zealand USD trade. I still want to hold on to this for at least the end of today to see what is going to happen. I've moved my stops around this area, somewhere here, so I've moved my stop around this area. Then the smaller trade I took, let me delete this. I have also closed out that one. I'll post a MT5 screenshot as well. I could have gotten another entry here, but then it was Asia, so I was asleep at the time. Very nice trade there. While the EURCAD trade seemed to kind of fizzle out due to lack of activity in US yesterday. So I kind of closed my trade somewhere. Yeah, can't remember the exact place I closed my trade. For more or less break even, and today, because of the pound news, originally the idea was for CAD strength. But in this case, I think the strength has kind of fizzled out because of this strong movement due to Trump's tariffs on Sunday So, oh no, Monday morning around 12. So the idea now is to sell CAD. So let's see. The news will come out in less than a minute. So let's see how it responds. Prefer to go on time frame just to see more data. Okay, this is why the trades like this are best on the higher time frames. Like trades around major news events are best on the higher time frames because there might be spikes either way. And being on the, let's say, 1 hour time frame or 2 hour time frame, 15 30 minutes time frame will not just cut it when it comes to like high activity news events. So you can see if I had been on the lower time frames, I'll be out by now. So I'll keep watching this for the rest of the day. I was expecting a bit more movement with the employment data, but then she's not too bad as well. Let's give it 1 more hour for London to open, then we'll see. Let me check the other pound instruments. Okay, no problem. We'll see. So that's just the update so far. Alright, new update. This is 11 a.m. London opened around 9 a.m. So let me check the news calendar first. Most of the news events for the day have already been released. The most important one is the pound employment data. So not a lot of news events in the US session, but then the US is open today, so I'll just wait to see what happens there. Let me provide an update with regard to my positions. Okay, for New Zealand USD, it's already getting close to resistance, and I think I've made enough money on this one already. I'll just close this out. I'll close this out and post the MT5 screenshots of my final exit price. Should be around 58.36. 58.36. Let me change this to a mouse. To the one, rather. Very nice trade. I'll look to see if I can get some entries on the lower time frame in US. When US opens, I'll look to see if I can get further entries, but I won't be posting those ones just because I need to focus on getting in well since it's on the lower time frame. That's it for this week. Of course, there will be more trades, but then I won't be posting anymore. Just one per week, and this is the pound trade I entered earlier. Starting to bring in more activity. I'll update you on this one on the next video. Alright, that's it for me for this week. Very nice trade idea on New Zealand USD, and I have Trump to thank for that. Alright.